Good morning, Internet fans. It's Ryan Perry with Simple Biz Support. Today is Wednesday, therefore it is Social Media Wednesday. We might have to knock on the door, see if anybody's out there today, as it is the day before Thanksgiving. I hope too many people aren't traveling. I know today is going to be one of the busiest travel days nationally. And we should probably introduce our guest speaker, who really isn't a guest speaker because she's here just about every week, unless she's off gallivanting in Hawaii. And that is Sarah Giametti with ICT Marketing. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm hoping I have a short day. My plan's to get out of here by 3 and start the holiday off right by doing some hiking later on today so I can kind of prepare for tomorrow, if that makes sense.
This makes a lot of sense. It's a great plan. I'm hoping to get out of here, about 30 minutes after we finish this and get on the road. So,
Yeah, you've got to travel a little farther than I do today. But let's talk about, last week we talked about, maybe we will go back 2 weeks as far as planning for 2015. Most of us are procrastinators. It's human nature. And so we really want to try and get people to really think about 2015, their marketing plan for 2015, and specifically internet marketing, social media. And so we kind of gave you some tools and tips to work from, and we want to deep dive a little deeper into some of those tools and tips. And today we're going to talk about Twitter. And Twitter is great. I think one of the downfalls of Twitter is that you really have to have a lot of followers and you have to post a lot of content in order to be found, simply because everything is posted in a chronological order and you can get lost in the shuffle very quickly, like you've talked about in the past. Therefore, it's really important to have a very specific audience and know who your audience is that is potentially interested in listening to what you have to say about your product or service. And so the big topic today is how do you mine Twitter to find quality people to follow and have ideally they follow you.
right. So, Twitter, you don't necessarily need a lot of followers. Obviously, the more you have, the more you're going to get. But you really want to have quality followers that you could eventually nurture into sales through either get them onto your website, buying into if you've got free things to give away. But like you said, Twitter does move at the speed of light. The average person, not even a company, the average person follows anywhere from 2 to 300, and of course it ranges. Someone might only follow 10 people, and someone might follow 1,000, and you really got to make use of lists at that point. But with the average person following that much, your content does get lost really easily. It has a lifespan of less than an hour, just because the chronological. If you ever sit and watch your Twitter feed, or if you have access to one that's got a lot of followers, or you're following a lot of people, it just keeps moving and moving and moving. I think I opened mine. I'm not even in here, but within a few minutes, I got 10, 20, 50 new tweets.
All right, I can't think of the movie. What was the movie with Keanu Reeves with the numbers, the green numbers? It's
Matrix.
Matrix, yes. It's kind of like the Matrix. It's just a stream that never flows of data and information. So the big question is then, if you're new to Twitter, you need to find people. But then there's also the seasoned Twitter users that maybe 2 years ago when they opened up their account, they're like, okay, I got to find people. But maybe they haven't really focused on that and they're redoubling their efforts. I think this episode of blah, 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 losing my mind. I got turkey on my brain. This episode is really relevant to people that are new to Twitter and those users that have been on for a couple of years who want to really look back and go, okay, who's new out there? Because there's a lot of new people coming on board on Twitter. So if this is something you did a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this is still relevant. So let's kind of jump into it. And I think the one thing you wanted to talk about where instead of randomly looking, find experts in your industry.
Yep. You want to go after, kind of why reinvent the wheel. The experts in your industry who have been on Twitter for a while, They not only follow a lot of relevant people, they've got a lot of followers, they've taken advantage of lists. And so what you want to do is go find who those experts are, and hopefully you already know who a lot of them are. One of them in my industry is Social Media Examiner. I go look at them, and I look at their list, which we'll do a screen share here.
And so while you're pulling up that screen share, what exactly is a list for those that may not be aware?
So a list is, let's see, make sure I'm looking at it real quick. Make sure I'm not
marketing view on theirs.
I
was just going to say that right there, that screenshot is what good marketing looks like, by the way.
Yes, they are well branded, very well branded. Their little explorer guy is everywhere. They've always got some jungle theme with it. Extremely well branded. This is what you want your page to look like. A list is a group. You add a group of people for a certain topic, a certain industry, or a certain group. You can have a list for just your friends, and the list helps you clean out your newsfeed, because the people in the list, you go into the list and you can see just what their stuff is. And so it's a way for you to get to their content really quickly, and it doesn't get lost in the fold. And so when you go find the expert in your industry, and you go to their Twitter page, this is what it'll look like. And right at the top, you see here they've got 9 lists. Click on that, and you can see how many that they are subscribed to, or which they've created. And in here, you see how many members are in here. And this is a great way. They've created one they've got a conference every year, and they've put in here a lot of the presenters who are in this list. And obviously they are one of the experts in social media, and their conference is well attended, and they have really excellent speakers. So you kind of follow this train of thought. They know what they're doing. The people are at this conference, and hundreds of people are going to see them speak. Then they are also experts, and they're people that you'll want to follow, because they're going to give you really good content. They're going to, you're going to get quality content out of them. You know it's going to be useful to you. So those are good ones to follow. And also, they're good ones to interact with. Social media is always, at the bottom line, it is social. And so when you start following these people, and you can create your own list. So you can create one for like social media experts and put all these people in it. And that way you can then see their tweets and interact with them. They're still humans. They're still, even though they're a bigger company and they're well known, they're still people, and they do social media really well, and they'll interact and have conversations, and that way you get exposure to their followers. Because if they tweet something and you respond to them a thank you or something and start a conversation, and you guys go back and forth, their followers are going to see all those conversations, and they're going to see the tweets back and forth, and so you can pick up followers that way organically just by interacting and having the conversations.
Right, and realizing that, especially with somebody like Social Media Examiner, is that they are thought leaders, and so if you're interacting with thought leaders at an intelligent level, even asking smart questions that generate and spark other ideas, you never know who's listening, and what's great about them is they have so many thousands of people listening that your visibility is going to go up. So as you're looking through these lists, what do you recommend that people actually do to take action then to grow their Twitter list?
Follow the people that, obviously follow the thought leaders in your industry, and then follow some of the top other thought leaders that are individuals. It's like in social media, there are a lot of individual thought leaders. Follow them and interact. So take a look at the lists. So like here I clicked on the list, and you can see who the lists are in here. And a name that popped out right off the bat to me is Jay Bear. Jay Bear is a thought leader in social media, and actually he's a thought leader in internet marketing. And so if you know the names, you can pop out and you can look more into them, see if there's somebody worth following and adding to one of your lists. So it takes a little bit of work. You want to do some do a little bit of research if you don't know the names already. Like obviously Jay Bear stood out to me right off the bat, but some of the other people don't. So I might look into them to see if they're worth following, if they're going to give me useful content, or do they always just regurgitate stuff that I always follow? Then why bother adding them to my newsfeed?
Right. So it almost sounds like you either need, maybe this is something you do in the evening in front of the fireplace with a bottle of wine, maybe 2 bottles of wine, and kind of scrub through their list. And then, like you said, do a little research if you don't know them. And research is check out their LinkedIn account, check out their Twitter feeds, check out their website, and making sure that they're bringing a unique voice to the conversation.
Absolutely. So, and here's one they've got social media networks. It's the official Twitter accounts of the largest social media networks. And so this might be a really good one to follow. It's got Facebook on here, SoundCloud, Clout, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram's in here, Google, Pinterest. So all the social media actual platforms, their Twitter accounts are in this list. So looking at all these different lists, it helps you quickly find the leaders of your industry to add them to your Twitter follow.
Right. So let me throw a wrinkle in all of this. So let's say I'm a plumber, and so Social Media Examiner is not a great tool. How would I go about trying to find out who those thought leaders are in the industry if I'm relatively new to Twitter, or if I'm seasoned but looking for new people?
You utilize the advanced search tool on Twitter. It is extremely powerful. We'll go back to screen sharing for that one.
Okay. And just so you know, we got about 3 minutes, and maybe we can use the plumber just because it's such an off-the-wall. Generally, I like to talk about dentists, but I thought about a plumber today.
So real quick, we'll give you this link. It's really just it's a Twitter support article that gives you the operators and what they mean, how to find things. So you can do. One of the ones I love is near NYC within 15 miles. So what tweets are sent within 15 miles of New York City? Happy hour near San Francisco. So there's a lot of things you can find. You've got movie minus scary happy face. So it contains movie but not scary and with a positive attitude. It's incredibly useful to use these tools. And this is a list I go back to because you're never going to remember all of them. But it's a really great way to filter out. So you could do things like plumbing or plumbing near San Francisco, plumbing near Santa Rosa.
Right. So where would they actually go on Twitter to?
They go up here in the search bar. So I'll just copy the near New York City with. Oh, I can't. It's a picture. Never mind. So you can do near : Santa Rosa within 15 miles. Oh, nothing.
That's not good.
Or did I do an extra? I did an extra space. My apologies. So there's no space between the colon and. So there's 3 in here. 3 people tweeted within 15 miles of Santa Rosa right now. So there's no space between the near and the colon and what you're looking for.
Right, but let's go back to the plumber. So if I'm a plumber and I want to find other plumbers, as an example, what would I do?
You could do, let's say you want to do them near Santa Rosa. In quotes, you put plumber, and then you use the near Santa Rosa still.
Okay. Now, if we have, I know there's a Santa Rosa in Florida also. Do we have to do the comma CA, or does it matter?
That's a good question. I don't think it delineates that.
And apparently, there are no plumbers in Santa Rosa.
Yeah, there's none.
Bad example. Bad example.
Let's.
Or whatever you're typing in.
There we go. Plumber near Glendale. Now there are multiple Glendales, including the one I'm from. But here's a list of all plumbers near Glendale. Could be Glendale, California. Could be Glendale, Arizona. I think there's a couple other Glendales. But it looks like most of these are Los Angeles Post, which is the Glendale in California.
So what we just discovered is if you're a plumber in the Sonoma County, Santa Rosa area, you may want to get on Twitter because nobody else is there and it's an open market for you.
Yes, very much so. I think construction in general tends to be an open market on social media, especially in this area. They tend to be a little bit, construction in general tends to be a little behind the times with their marketing online. And in this area even more so. So it is a wide open opportunity for a lot of people in construction, but a lot of industries, because I hear it all the time that people don't understand Twitter. They don't get Twitter because it moves so fast, everything is so short, and so it is a wide open opportunity for 2015 to look into your competition and see how they're doing on Twitter and double your efforts and really put a concerted effort into building your brand and getting lead generation out of it.
Okay, perfect. So the two tools that we covered today, one is do a search and find thought leaders in your industry. The other thing I didn't think about, we're talking about plumbers, is also maybe looking at the manufacturers, Moen. I don't know all the other ones. That's the one that comes to my mind because they probably have a lot of cool product knowledge that people would be interested in hearing about, because if it's, maybe I need a new faucet, and or something plumbing goes bad, so I end up going, I need a new faucet also along with it, and you could catch their eye that way, talking about new technology, new models, new products, those type of things. So follow the thought leaders. The second thing is use the Twitter search bar, and maybe in smaller cities it's not going to be as beneficial for you. However, definitely in larger cities it will be. But find out what the conversation is. Social media, like you said before, Sarah, it's a conversation. It's real people. So when you're on Twitter, just imagine you're going into a party, a cocktail party, if you will, where you know nobody. And the best thing to do is find out who's talking about the things you're interested in. If you're a plumber and you're interested in plumbing, then go and search the audience, go, mingle in that cocktail party, find out who's talking about something that's relevant to plumbing, and then engage in conversation and actually be social, and that's how Twitter works. With that, we're 2 minutes over, so I need to 86 this. I know you've got turkey on the brain. I've got turkey on the brain. I hope everybody out there has turkey on the brain and has a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow. And with that, Sarah, as always, I appreciate your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Ryan. Have a great Thanksgiving to you and to everybody out there who follows us and listens to these.
All right, will do. And I will see you next week. Bye.
Yes. Bye.